Today's video is sponsored by Policy Genius. Friends, I'll be honest with you. I've not ran this sawmill since my last sawmill video, which was well over a week ago. And that was on this log right here. This is Joe's walnut log from down in Georgia. He brought it up to me a few months ago. That's not the same Joe, though, that does the blades, Joe Maine. This is a different Joe. Don't confuse the two. But I've not been up here since then. I've been working on the timber frame, hauling logs, getting this tractor squared away with all the upgrades I'm doing to it and all my little modifications I'm doing on the new tractor. There's a lot been going on here. We had some terrible weather on top of that. Let's check the width right here. 32.5 inches wide. Now this LT70 Super Wide Head, the max width is 34 inches, but I do have the high performance blade guides on it, so you might lose maybe a quarter of an inch on both sides. I've never measured it, to be honest with you. On the sawmill, I got a silver tip Turbo 7. I get those from Joe Maine down in Georgia. If you're interested in those blades, his cell phone number is down in the video description. All I ask is don't call him at 3 o'clock in the morning. Call him during regular business hours and he'll take care of it. So my sawing strategy for the day, I want to take one cut off the top, 8/4. We'll take a look at that one and see what it produces. Then we're going to flip this log 180 and start on the outside and work our way back to the middle. And hopefully there's no metal on the other side. We hit 3 or 4 nails on the other side of this log. So hopefully we'll have better luck today. I hate hitting metal, guys. I hate it. And people ask me all the time, why don't you have a metal detector? Well, the reason being, a metal detector for logs is very expensive. A regular one, like you see at the airport, it's not going to read deep enough into a log to tell you where there's metal. If there's a nail sticking out the edge of it, it'll probably tell you that, but you should be able to see it. But if it's deep down in the log, 3 or 4 inches, it will never tell you that. A proper wand for timber is actually $2,000 or $3,000. And to be honest with you, I don't hit metal enough to justify one of those. This is the first time I've hit metal on a log ever with this LT70 Super, and I've had this thing since October. So it's not really something I run into a whole lot. Hang in there, because after this one's done, I need to saw a mantle out of another walnut log right behind this one. And real quick, I want to thank everybody on Patreon for supporting me here on the channel. I really appreciate you guys. You guys heard that. We hit some more nails. I shouldn't have said anything about having metal detectors. I could tell I hit it right here in this crotch area, or maybe right past it. And I think I probably hit more than one. When you hit something like that, you got to slow down and make sure you can still cut your way out of it, because sometimes it will damage your blade so much you can't cut anymore. And if you try to push it, you'll take a terrible dive, and you may even hit your back stops at that point. You got to be careful on that stuff. Tell you what, part of it, part of the process. Sometimes you hit metal, sometimes you don't. See what we got in here. Oh, what a mess. Yep, more than one. More than one. Man, 3 nails in there. Good sized ones too. Yep. Got that one out, or part of it. Man, that's a, what in the world is that? What is that? We're gonna find out. Goodness sakes alive. Well, I'm not sure what this was. Check this out. A lot of it's rusted away, but it's still pretty solid, enough to mess up your day when you're sawing. I have no idea what that is. Put your best guess in the comments below. That's the largest piece of metal I've ever hit in a log. Joe, your log has set a new record for me, buddy. I see more down in here. I'll tell you what, friends, I hate to do this, but I'm pulling this log off the sawmill. There's 8 nails that I could see on this face right here. If I keep this up, this will take all night. And I gotta get that mantle sawed by tomorrow morning for that buddy of mine. I've never hit this many nails in one log. This is a new record right here. And here I was earlier bragging about never hitting metal. I'm eating my words now. Man, I tell you what, I have never seen nothing like it. There's just nails scattered everywhere on this log. Man, somebody wore it out years ago. I always say this, if you ever see somebody driving a nail into a tree, take their hammer and throw it in the woods and tell them I told you to do it because of stuff like this. So before we get started on this next log, friends, I want to thank Policy Genius for sponsoring today's video. Now, since 2014, Policy Genius has helped over 30 million people shop for life insurance and has placed over $120 billion in coverage. Now, typically, life insurance gets a lot more expensive the older you get, so this is something you do not want to put off till tomorrow. Get with Policy Genius today to find the right coverage. Life insurance can give you a peace of mind that if something happens to you, your loved ones would have a financial cushion to pay for things like rent, mortgage payments, loans, education costs, and everyday expenses. You could save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. Policy Genius is your one-stop shop for finding and buying the insurance you need. In minutes, you can compare personalized quotes from top companies to find the lowest price and coverage you need. Their team of experts will help you understand your options and ensure you apply for the right policy. Remember, Policy Genius works for you, not the insurance companies. When you're ready to apply, the Policy Genius team will handle the paperwork and scheduling for free. Head to policygenius.com/outofthewoods to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. So thanks a lot to Policy Genius for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate it. All right, friends, let's get back to sawing. We'll set this one aside for a rainy day. We'll put the next one on. Hang in there. Got a good one coming up. Hopefully no metal. Fingers crossed. All right, guys, another black walnut here on the mill. This is not a really good saw log. It's pretty low grade, actually. You see the pith way down here toward the bottom, off-centered. Got something else going on right here. I'm not sure what's going on right there, but there's a lot of issues with this log. Goal today with this log is a 6x10, the length of this log right here. And I think I can get it probably right in there and be free of heart. That way the heart or the pith, that's the same thing, is down here. And I don't know what we'll do with what's left. Who knows on that. But we'll definitely get a 6x10 right here. Now, since this will be free of heart, or FOH, if you ever see that abbreviation, that's what it means, free of heart, which means there's no pith in it. I think I've said that enough probably. But since it is free of heart, it will be a lot more stable than if the heart was actually in the center of the tree. Makes for a pretty good log, actually, on something low grade like this. Now, this log is just over 7 feet long. There's a little bit of a twist to it. So hopefully when I take off my first slabs, there's no reaction wood or anything springing up on us, but you never know. We may see that due to the grain right here. This came from a tree that was down for about a year over in Virginia. I got it from a friend of mine, and my buddy needs a mantle. This is where it's going. I think he's going to air dry it for a little while, then put it into a kiln to finish it off. But his dimensions that he wants is a 6x10. That's going to be a very large mantle. I've never sawed a mantle that big before. It may take him a while to dry this out. This is going pretty good actually. No nails at least like that last log had. So I thought I would stop for just a second and explain my strategy here to get our mantle free of heart. As you can see, I used a lumber crayon to mark out our mantle piece. We got 10 inches this way and 6 inches this way, and we're actually going to be able to square this up with no live edge, which is what they wanted. They was okay with the live edge, but if I can get it square, I like it better that way. So the mantle is pretty much going to be rift sawn right here by the way the grain is running. Kind of like little half moons in there. That's rift sawn. And it should be a pretty stable piece actually. I'm pretty happy how this has turned out. So I'll set the AccuSet with the auto up feature on the Wood-Mizer, and I'll come down here to my 10-inch mark. I'll go up 1 inch, then I'll come back down with my 1-inch cuts, and we'll get a few jacket boards right here. We'll come over here on this side and do the same thing down to 6 inches, and there we'll have our 6x10 mantle. It's pretty easy, guys. There's a lot of math involved with sawmilling, but once you get a method down to how you cut stuff, and everybody cuts stuff different it seems like, it's not too bad. And that Wood-Mizer, having that computer set works on it, makes it a whole lot easier because it takes the math out of it actually when you start figuring up your cuts up from the bed. It's a really nice feature. I love the AccuSet systems on these Wood-Mizers. They're hard to beat. Before we finish up that log, I have 2 things to do. Number 1, eat dinner. Number 2, take Bruno on his evening tracker ride. I can't miss that.